Be live now.
Okay.
They should be able to see all of us, and they should be able to hear all of us. So if you guys want to tell them how you're doing, they can test that theory.
What's
Fantastical people of the pre-show.
Pre-show.
Ram, you want to do... Oh, you already tweeted. Perfect. Retweet.
Yep, I retweeted. I just retweeted the Nexus tweet.
Yeah,
So,
me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an auto tweet. It's nice.
Yep.
It's like
Oh yeah, I
really
love that
live.
about Twitch. Yeah, I think it's Twitch that does it.
Yeah. So, what do we got in the chat room? We have DJ Billy. Although he's the only one showing in the chat room, and I'm sure that you guys are in the chat room as well.
Yes. Runes, you're such a difficult choice.
What is up?
Like,
Oh, Skype overlay is
sweet
annoying. Hi, DJ Bill. It's DJ Bill. Tahoe.
Yeah, DJ Bill. I keep calling it Billy because when I kind of cut out the H and see the Y.
Yeah.
DJ Billy.
A big surprise. What's a big surprise?
Him being
I missed
here? No, it's not a surprise at all. We're glad. You're like our regular. Like Naz or Nags, whatever his name
Oh
is.
yeah, Nagram, right?
Nagram. Yeah, he'll be back next week, he said in the live chat room.
Hi.
Okay, so one last test before we start doing anything. I just want to make sure you can hear this.
Welcome to the
Tahu
Nexus, the
Haruk.
podcast for the heroes of Blizzard Entertainment.
That close? Even? I don't know. I said it all Jewish-like. Anything with like wow, talking. Anything with like lots of H's, I always say all super Jewish.
Super Jew.
I am the resident super Jew. Oh no.
What's
That's
the Super Jew superpower?
gold
We're the
farming.
Special Center this week.
Gold farming.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow.
Oh my gosh, I sound really racist. I apologize to my own kind. My parents are Israeli immigrants. I can make fun of my people, right?
I found a guitar pick at work today, and it said some guy's name, 2013, and on the back, bar mitzvah. I'm like, a guitar pick is a bar
Nice.
mitzvah giveaway? Fucking GG.
That's awesome. Xandar just cursed. Good thing we're in
It's a
pre-show.
pre-show.
There goes our ratings. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Do-
I
You know,
like.
We got our
I
first
just-
5-star review on iTunes,
Yay!
Hey.
and it wasn't from DJ Bill. I don't think it was him.
You never know. People have all kinds of usernames everywhere.
That's true.
I have Christmas nails. I just want to show. Where's my camera? Christmas nails. Eee, they're so
We should share.
cute.
That count as Christmassy.
Yeah.
I should probably bring up that iTunes because I want to mention it in the show.
DJ Bill says he doesn't know how to do iTunes reviews.
So you open up iTunes, you do a search for our show, you subscribe to it, and then as part of that, our show page, it says review, and you click 5 stars. It's this many.
If you feel that we
you
deserve
feel it.
5 stars, that is, because you
I
can't
have a
tell
feeling.
what their opinions are. That's like Hitler stuff.
However, I feel as though DJ
I'm on a
Bill
ball tonight.
would
on a-
not continue to show up in our live chat room if he didn't believe that we deserved at least a good
Well,
amount of
that's
stars.
not necessarily true because I go to shows all the time that I don't feel are 5-star shows, but I go because I like to support the community. But I know I'm also like one in a million people, and I watch a lot of podcasts. Anyways,
I only show up live for the 5-star shows.
is that why you don't come to the Blizzmaster show? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, right. That's like the one show I make every week.
I know, I was kidding. It was sarcastic.
But I think the only week I haven't gone to your show at midnight my time, for the record,
I
is
know.
when my brother was in town and we were out for my cousin's birthday party.
I know.
Who turned 21. So,
I just picked on you.
I know. I got it. Yeah, Marshall. Marshall 907.
Marshall Mathers, 907.
Marshall 907.
Like, was it good information about
The
lore and
real
gameplay?
chick.
Can't wait to hear them talk about the game when it's actually playable. Soon.
Yeah! All I can talk about is my 20-minute experience with the alpha that they had at BlizzCon. I don't even know what you would call that.
I don't think it was an alpha. I think they were in like a friends and family beta stage.
I don't think
Yeah.
so. Disagree.
Can I hope? Can you not break
No.
all this down?
I'm pretty sure it was like super pre-alpha version.
It'd be too far away then. They can't wait that long.
Their super pre-alpha version was the one that they had like 2 years ago. With
Yeah, it's
actually
20.
just a mod for StarCraft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The TIA.
Yeah.
What's the TIA?
What's the TIA?
Transportation Initiation Authority.
Is that a Canadian thing?
I don't know. I
Is
just
that why
made
we
it
didn't
up.
know it?
I just invented it. Torn
intelligence.
Oh, wow. I was going to say, is DJ Bill Canadian or American or other?
Or other things that I believe there are in the world.
Because if you're not
Yeah.
American or Canadian, you're...
What are you?
Well, like in my case, I have dual citizenship to 2 countries, so
Me too. Power. Solidarity.
Yeah. Well, mine's not Canada, but I mean, I identify with both countries. I don't know, that makes sense, right? Yes.
Yes, it does. Okay, so let's get this thing on the road.
He's like
Canadian
Xantar. He's a Canadian and an American citizen. I have a feeling that my dog just busted out of her crate, because that's what it sounded like.
I thought you were going to be... I don't know why. I was like, is she about to say, I think that my dog has dual citizenship?
No!
Sounds legit.
No, I just heard a really loud crash, and I don't know if I should investigate or not.
Well, if you want to investigate, now would be the time.
Okay, I'm gonna go see what they did. It's either the dog or the cat. I'll be right back.
When you get back, we're going to start the recording.
Okay.
And then normals.
And then
All
normals?
the- Yeah, we're gonna do some 5v5s.
Oh, me too, right?
Yeah.
Yes. You know, I've started playing Twisted Fate.
I love him. I am very bad at him though.
I've gotten pretty good with him. I do the AD build.
Interesting.
Because you can do AP and AD, I was reading.
Yeah, he'd
Or
do really
I
good
should
like hybrid. With like all like the hybrid abilities.
I don't know. When
Or
I did the
not-
AD, late game, I was like killing people quick, especially with being able to stun them. Because I started to get my button pressed down pretty well.
Yeah. You'd actually probably be best to build them however they're not built defense against. Like if they're building armor, you would want to go AP, and if they're building magic resist, you'd probably want to go AD. I could see that working really well. I'm just really not good at his like wild card draws.
Like the wrestlers? Sorry, I was reading the chat room. Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah. I guess that makes sense. Build them the way that they're not building against.
Build to their weakness. I'm just really bad at his wild card draws. Like locking in the card I want, I'm really bad at.
Yeah. Well, I figured you hit it. You basically hit it on red if you want to stun, because yellow's next. You hit on
Yellow well, yeah.
And then yellow, if you hit on yellow, you get blue. I'm actually a big Hardy Boy fan. I was a big fan of them. And then when I want red, I hit blue. Most of the time you want yellow, so...
Yeah.
Red
I
is
have
slow.
no idea what you guys are talking
Red is slow, blue is the most damage and gives magic back, so it's kind of your sustain.
Yes, the the Twisted Fate. Oh yeah, I'm talking about Twisted Fate, who is a champion in League of Legends that I started playing.
DOS League of Legends.
It's actually interesting that you mentioned the you build towards it, because that's what we're going to be talking about today. Because that's like our main discussion is the removal of in-match items. So you would not be able to do that in Heroes of the Storm.
That's right.
So I think we've got everybody in the chat room.
Boot.
You know, you can't make fun of me from the couch. Sorry, my wife was making fun of me.
That's what wives are for.
I said
That's-
we've got everybody in the chat room, and she goes, "You mean the one person?"
Aww. Well, it's a good person to have in the chat room, so I'm cool with that.
That means he's probably gonna win something today,
Probably.
unless he gets the question wrong. Because I guess you have to get the question right. By the way, I have at this point, because of what they've been, I actually got into the beta and all that. And they keep sending me more beta keys for the Infinite Crisis game. So I now have 5 extra keys.
I can has one.
Yes, you can have one.
I know so many people that have gotten it, installed it, and not played it once.
Oh, you?
Is it-
No, I haven't because I'm not super interested in it. But I know a couple of my friends have gotten 3 or 4 keys and have not even logged in.
I played and I enjoy it, but I can't talk
Yeah.
about why, I guess. It's under NDA. Okay, so we're going to start the show. If you guys could have your Audacity ready.
Yes.
Ready to go.
Speaking of Audacity, I need to bug Agathon. I never got his file from Monday. And
I still need something from you, Adam. Christmas message.
oh yeah, I'll record it right after the show.
Okay,
Yeah. I should do
Sorry,
that
I
soon.
was working on something,
it's all good.
and when you hear it, you'll enjoy it. So, and we're gonna start recording in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Nexus, the podcast for the heroes of Blizzard Entertainment.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to episode 5 of The Nexus. As always, I am your host, Adam Eastwood, and we have just the 3 of us today. We have our Paladin by day and Hearthstone Paladin by night, Remedies.
That's me. Hello, chat room and listeners and everybody everywhere. How are you all doing tonight?
We're doing pretty good. And we have we have the co-host of Holy Shat, veteran mage and MOBA support top lane, Xantar.
Hello, friends. I'm excited to be back. Missing last week has torn my heart asunder, but much like everything, I need another fancy catchphrase like last time. What goes around comes around. I don't think that works, but c'est la vie.
Well, let's go ahead and kind of talk about what we've been doing this week in MOBAs and Blizzard games. Rem, what have you been up to lately?
I bought skins in League of Legends. I got the unmasked Kale skin, and it's awesome. And then, I'm raiding in World of Warcraft. I have played a lot of Hearthstone, but that's because the patch came, and we got a new ranking system, and it's tons of fun. And, yeah.
Totes fun.
Any MOBA gaming or?
Yeah, just League of Legends. I'm not branching out yet, but I guess I might get into the DC Infinite game, Infinite Crisis. I'll be trying that soon. But yeah, I just played a lot of League of Legends. I did some ARAMs the other day, and I kept getting Kale, so it was awesome because I feel really comfortable playing her, and I had a new skin, so yeah.
Nice. Xantar, what have you been up to lately?
A lot of League. I'm doing a lot of ranked matches, trying to get my my ranking up before the season 4 starts. So making some progress there, and a lot of classic RPG gaming. I booted up my PS3 because I have a whole bunch of classic games installed that I purchased on PSN. So started playing. What was it? Legend of Mana, Breath of Fire 4, and Final Fantasy 6. So
Nice.
I'm on a classics kick when I'm not playing League otherwise. So it's a pretty big disparity in terms of different things, but it's fun.
I too, like Rem, have been playing a lot of Hearthstone this week. I've needed to get caught up on my dailies because I feel like once I got behind 3 dailies, I kind of just felt beat down because I had some hard ones to do. Playing as what was it? I had win 2 as a druid or a rogue, win 5 as a druid or as a rogue, and win 7. And my druid and my rogue decks are my 2 worst decks out there. So I really fell down on it. I played a little bit of League of Legends, but I've been mostly playing Dota 2 this week. I found a hero in there that I feel like I am actually really good at, and I went like 25-4. And
Wow.
Yeah, and that was like the first time I played him. And then after that, it was all, maybe not that good, but decent enough that I just kept wanting to play the same character over and over and over again. And no one took it from me, so I was happy.
Nice.
So, last week we had an interesting discussion, and Muppet MOBAs got brought up. So I actually put together something real quick for the chat room and for the listeners. You guys listen to this, and I hope you enjoy it. Legends tell of an island where the native summoners call forth powerful warriors and spellcasters to do battle in 5v5 arena combat.
Waka waka!
Someone must have told him it's harder to hit a moving target.
It's yummy, yummy time!
Can't do a little prestation? Oh, that's only a flesh wound.
Hey, Ellen, here's one you missed.
This is not that awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed that. My first attempt at kind of putting something together. We're going to kind of go right into our discussion of the week, which is, will the removal of the in-match items diminish gameplay in comparison to the other MOBAs that we've been playing lately? Xantar, what are your thoughts on, one, the item removal for in-game, as well as, kind of your feelings about it?
I understand the thought process behind it. One thing that we've talked about that can be pretty daunting in getting into MOBAs in general is the item build. So figuring out what a champion does is one thing, but figuring out different ways to build them is definitely another, and that's a whole kind of second level that takes a long time to learn. So I think definitely the simplification in that sense will do a lot of good things for Heroes of the Storm. It'll really kind of put the focus more on knowing a champion as opposed to having to do builds. That being said, like Adam, you and I were talking in the pre-show, it kind of also takes away a level of customization and kind of homogenizes champions a little bit, and I'm kind of concerned about what that might mean when the game launches. And you once you pick your champion and you see what the other team has, you kind of are stuck, and maybe you are a champion that's really weak against their composition. Maybe they have a lot of ways to lock you down or to kind of negate a lot of your strengths, because it's kind of a game of chess almost in a sense. And in League of Legends, as my example always, you can sometimes build items that make up for your weaknesses or maybe really kind of capitalize on your strengths, and not having those to kind of tailor your champion to the specific game is, I'm not sure, something if I will or won't like in practice. I could see it really going both ways, and especially as somebody that plays support main, I build my characters totally different from one game to another depending on what's going on, and sometimes even in the middle of a match I'll change what I'm doing if I see something's not working, or I see maybe another I'm not doing really well because of a certain character I'm constantly running into, or if just we're not doing too hot as a team and someone else is not doing too great in their lane, whatever the case may be, having that ability to kind of make that choice, I guess, and pick up the slack, that not being a part of the equation, it might make it a little bit harder to carry games in a sense. And as someone that plays a lot of these games already, that's kind of a worry for me and what that might mean, for Heroes of the Storm.
How about you, Rem? What are your thoughts on the items in game, or in this case, the items not in the game?
Well, I feel some of the same sentiments that Xantar is feeling. The whole lack, I guess, of customizing your character, especially in a given match. Like he brought up, if you're up against a team makeup and you want to build your character a certain way to combat that makeup. So like sometimes, even when I'm playing support, I'll pick up a lot of like armor type of items based on the champions that I'm facing, etc., etc. So that is a concern, I feel. But as far as like actually having like my character is unique and stuff like that, I think it is a little bit less from what we know of what we're going to have in Heroes of the Storm, but I don't think it's so significantly less that we won't feel like our characters are kind of unique, because they did say there's going to be different, like, I guess, options as far as like your heroic or your ultimate ability, and then the kind of tiered talents and stuff like that. So in every given match, I think you're still going to be able to kind of pick utility and abilities that are going to affect and let you have the option, so to speak, how to combat what you're facing up against and little things like that. But yeah, having the whole items thing does worry me a little bit, just for that reason, like Xantar brought up, based on what you're facing in any given match. So
yeah, I think part of it too will be how they implement how you can when and how you can change your ultimate ability. If you can change it, during the character select screen and you're able to see who they're picking, that's one thing.
Yeah.
If you can't do it that way, then I think you're kind of hindering the player. They can't, plan ahead slightly, even if it's that 30 seconds to a minute before the match starts.
Right. Well, and to put some context into it, if I'm playing support and my lane's not doing very well, and we're getting killed a lot, or the junglers coming into my lane a lot and focusing us, I'll start focusing a lot on survivability stats so that I can kind of offset that issue. On the opposite side, and you guys have seen this sometimes playing with me, is if I get ahead in lane and build a big lead, let's say me and whoever my AD carry is in bot lane, let's say we're up 4 or 5 kills in lane, and have maybe died once or even none in some cases, I'll just build nothing but attack items and try and snowball that. Yep. So to not have that option it's going to be interesting. It might not be a very big deal. We'll have to wait and see, but I know it's a level of complexity that I've come to appreciate in League the more I've played it. So to see it go away is bittersweet in a sense.
And I can completely understand the reasons that Blizzard's looking to get rid of it, because they don't want you to have to keep going back to your base and picking up new items. Like I said, I've been playing a lot of Dota 2 over the past week, and I think they did a great way of implementing the item shop, but at the same time making it so that way you didn't have to keep going back, because they actually have couriers available. So you can put in your order at the shop, and then a courier actually brings you your gear. I think that was a great solution to having to go back to your shop consistently. They also have secret shops in the jungles, so that way there's certain gear that you have to get from the secret shop, and you can take the time to take control of the courier, tell them to go to the secret shop, buy it for you, and then bring it back. Or you can just go there yourself. I'm wondering if maybe, once they get to see some play testing in, maybe when more people are playing it in like a beta format and getting that feedback, I wonder if they might turn away from that, and if it's something that they might be able to kind of go and take a step back and say, we need something in game to customize.
Well, Rem, you played it at the demo at BlizzCon. Did they have any sort of currency or gold in match?
Now that I think about it, I didn't notice any. It doesn't mean that there wasn't any, I just didn't notice any. So
Because I
don't
know we talked about how last hitting minions is not something you're going to have to worry about, and how
Yeah.
experience is, global as well, and everybody's kind of going to go at the same rate on the team. So I'm interested. I don't remember seeing one way or the other if there's going to be gold or not. I can't remember them ever saying that there wasn't. So it would make sense
honestly
that there
didn't
wouldn't be
notice
if they're going to do this. But if there is, and maybe it hasn't been elaborated on, I'm interested to see what it's going to be for, if not for items in a sense, like building stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. It's
I
gonna
know,
be
like during
interesting.
the play matches that we got to watch, I watched them, during the live stream. The only map that I saw the gold was the one
The
where
pirate
you pick
ship
up
map.
the gold, and you had to give it to the pirate, and he then
Yeah.
blasted the enemies with it.
Yeah.
I think this was something at first that I was really excited about, the no items. But then as I was, kind of picking up my playing in MOBAs, I've become less excited about this feature.
Yeah, because like I say, it's an added layer that, much the same as in raiding. In WoW, we have our abilities, but part of the fun is really getting into, maybe not reforging in the sense of how it's actually been implemented, but the idea of it, being able to kind of pick how your guy works. Like if I'm playing Zeratul in Heroes of the Storm, do I want him to be tanky? Do I want him to have a lot of low cooldown? Do I want him to have a lot of attack power or ability power? Like,
Right.
I kind of prefer that way to be able to decide how my Zeratul is compared to someone else and fit it towards how I play it. Maybe I want more sustain and I'm going to play passively in lane. Maybe I'm going to play really, really aggressive and I want a lot of health and a lot of attack power. But it's interesting. I don't really know. I don't know. I'm worried about it because, especially with the low champion pool that they're going to launch with, for people that already play MOBAs, I think that it might hurt it a bit because it's not going to have the diversity that you have in other MOBAs twice, in champions or in my champion is different than yours, which is the same one, because we play and build differently.
Yeah. But I know I have full faith that Blizzard, granted we only know of 18 champions right now, but there will be more.
Yeah.
There
And
will be.
you're also looking at this isn't like a change that's sitting on its own in a vacuum. They're making a lot of changes to the game, which could, when put together, create the different gameplay dynamic that you're looking for. That doesn't require that level of min-maxing or micromanagement of your individual stats. So I guess there's like everything else when we're talking about this game, it's let's see what's gonna kind of happen.
Yeah.
So I'm
See.
like, yeah, it's like everything else. We're gonna see when it comes out, and then we can really kind of delve deep into it.
Yeah,
So,
it's nice because I don't know. I look at it and like I say, once you get the champions, which I feel like you get them with a relatively short amount of time. I like to think like if you play a champion for a couple matches, you kind of have a good idea kind of how they work, and maybe in like 10 matches or so, you've got a really good handle, but there's not really anything to figure out after that. And with only maybe 18, 20 champions at launch, I feel like I'm going to have mastered the game at that point. And I, like I say, I love that extra bit of customization and the extra challenge of having to figure out, okay, well, if I do this combination of attack speed and cooldown reduction and movement speed is how I like this whole stuff to focus on this specific champion, but this other support, I find I play him this way, and it really kind of fleshes well with a lot of armor and health, because maybe I don't do a lot of damage, but maybe I need to be up in people's faces to use these certain type of abilities. Like, I don't know. It's the more I think about it, the less I like the idea, and I loved the idea at first. So I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird situation because you're like, oh yeah, no items, I don't have to worry about it. It's gonna speed up the game, make it more fun. And then you're like, wait, this actually is a part of the game that I to love and enjoy. And I guess part of it too is it depends on how the character selection goes. If they kind of do, what's it like they consider a draft where one team picks one, the next team picks the other one, and it goes back and forth. You can kind of get that customization with the heroes you have, so that it makes you, or it requires you to know more heroes, like specifically, and how to counter the heroes they're picking, opposed to knowing how to counter them with like armor penetration or magic protection or whatever abilities are out there in the game.
Right.
Rem, do you have anything else to say on the topic?
No, except I can has beta now.
No kidding. We need this soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Soon. I mean, Reaper of the Souls beta, closed beta just started, today or yesterday? So
The Friends and Family beta started a couple weeks ago.
yeah, and they
They
just started to close.
yesterday,
Yeah.
and
So
I can
maybe not too far away. Maybe.
Maybe. But okay, think about it though, because we should be seeing Warlords of Draenor beta soon-ish. TM. Could you imagine Blizzard having 3 games in beta if Hearthstone hasn't come out into open beta? And well, it's probably going to be in open beta for a while, so that'd be 4 Blizzard games in beta. Could you really I wonder if Blizzard would delay Heroes because they have so many games in beta prior. That's a lot of feedback to sort through, a lot of bugs to be fixing. Granted, I know that they're all separate teams, and I'll
Right.
try to be quick about this, not long-winded, but I just don't know if Blizzard would have that many games in beta.
I think they have to be firing on all cylinders right now.
Mhm.
You
Because-
have
Yeah.
to look at it almost could be a positive thing if they have a lot of different betas out there at once for the company, because now remember the craziness behind everybody not getting into the Hearthstone beta right away.
Yeah.
And now and then the same problem with Mists of Pandaria when everyone was like, "Oh, I was promised it." So if they have 4, 5 betas running at a time, if somebody's in one of them, they
And
might
not
be
the
happy.
other.
So
Yeah.
it's,
Well,
they-
and
they
if
just-
somebody's in one of them, that means at that moment they're not logged in every single other one.
That's
Remember the Miss beta, how packed it was?
Yeah.
Because everyone was on it because nothing else was going on.
But
And I mean,
honestly,
if you've got 4 betas going on,
It's still
Blizzard's
a
a publicly
lot
traded
of
company.
work, though.
and all of a sudden to say we've got 4 betas going on for these massive titles that are going to make big revenue, at the end of the day, these guys got to make shareholders happy too, and shareholders are going to love 4 betas for products coming out, boom, 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 and everybody's excited about it, everybody's playing them, and right now their other titles are starting to decline in profits. So what better way to offset a little bit of the bad news by saying, hey, we're firing on more cylinders than we ever have before.
Yeah.
and especially with Hearthstone, where they're able to say, "Hey, we're not even in an open beta yet, and people are already spending money on us." And we're
Oh, I know, right?
a game that's not even out yet.
Yeah.
Heroes of the Storm, I think it's going to be very similar because as soon as it comes out, there's going to be the skins, and they're going to let people buy.
They're going to
skins
need to
as
test the
them.
shop and everything,
Yeah.
kind of like what they said when Hearthstone first came out. Here's a special card for testing the shop, right? So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "I got to have it."
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
just it. And it's a good, I mean, they're making money before it's even out then. It's really
Yeah.
brilliant if they do.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll
so
see. I guess we'll see.
we will see. So I think with that, we're going to go ahead and move on to our hero spotlight.
This is the Hero Spotlight.
Now, each week we take a time to look at a specific hero of the game. Right now, we're just talking about the kind of the basic abilities that we see, and this week we're going to be going over Kerrigan, the Queen of Blades. Now, normally we have David here to do the lore, and we kind of expecting him, but he got sick. Hopefully, he feels better. But Rem's going to step in last minute and cover the Kerrigan lore.
Yeah, so first of all, before I do this, I just want to apologize to all of our listeners because I am not the resident lore nerd around here. But I do play StarCraft, so I think I can give you my basic overview of Kerrigan. So she is known also as Sarah Kerrigan, that's her full name. As a child, she had kind of like a power, I guess, if you will. I believe it's like telepathy? Wow, right? It's telepathy. I can't remember. But anyway, so there were some incidents when she was younger and she accidentally, yes, accidentally, murdered her parents. Long story, I'm not going to go into it. But anyway, so then she was taken and initiated into the Ghost program. It's like part of the Terran military and so much backstory to give here. Anyway, so long story short, Sarah became good friends with Jim Raynor, and they had their adventures and all this and that and the other. And then she eventually, through the storyline, I don't want to spoil too much of it because I feel that everyone should experience this storyline in StarCraft. If you don't even like RTSs, you should play through the storyline, the campaign mode of StarCraft, and see the story of how Kerrigan goes from being this amazing ghost soldier, if you will, and eventually becomes the Zerg, the Queen of the Zerg. They call her the Queen of Blades. She has lots of different names, and she goes through like this really interesting transformation, and which is how most people see her now, with like the wings and the really sexy armor and or lack of armor, I guess.
And the high heels.
And the high heels, yes. But yeah, so she is now the Queen of the Zerg, and yeah, she's a villain technically, but she wasn't always a villain. Her backstory is kind of told through the tale through playing StarCraft. So I know I'm like butchering this, so we need David back. But yeah, that's pretty much the basic story. So she's a StarCraft villain who is turned champion or hero for Heroes of the Storm.
And one thing that I really found interesting was, and obviously my favorite show of all time is Firefly. I know Rem hasn't seen it, and if anyone hasn't played StarCraft but they've watched Firefly, it's River Tam. Psychic ability, government takes her, wipes, messes around with her. In Kerrigan's part, they even messed with her memories and everything, where she didn't even know who she was until the story of StarCraft, and everyone should go in and play through, kind of learn about her and move on. And
Yeah.
she's kind of StarCraft's Arthas, I would say. It's the
Yes.
the fall, to darkness, but there's more of a redemption angle, I believe, with
Yeah.
than where Arthas doesn't get.
She
that
keeps
redemption
getting teased with redemption throughout the storyline.
Yeah, and then spoiler alert though, but like at the end of I think it wasn't Wings of Liberty, it was Heart of the Storm, and at the end we thought she was going to be redeemed, right? And then maybe not so much.
Yeah, then she's like, I like it.
Yeah,
I'm good at this.
yeah, I'm
But
good at being bad.
At the same time, I feel like she, I'm not trying to ruin it too much, but I kind of like the
I know,
conversation
it's so hard.
is yes, she liked the path that she was on, but now I feel like she's doing it for better reasons. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because she's
Yeah.
It's the
she's now
means
bec-
to an end now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing that I find that's going to be hard is moving into the Legacy of the Void is how she's going to play in there, because in the next one you're going to be playing as Zeratul is probably
Yeah.
gonna be the main center, and she's just going to be kind of in the story and around. I'd almost argue that from where I've seen in Heart of the Swarm, StarCraft in general is almost the Sarah Kerrigan story. She is like the main character. She's the only one who's really been in everything. And with what's gone on in this one, I don't think you're going to see so much Jim Raynor at the end.
Yeah, Zensal says in the chat, I mean, she saves Jim Raynor, murders Manx, and is going to fight the Zelnot. I'm going to save all life, so redemption enough for me.
Right?
Yeah.
But there's still that ending. That
But she's
ending.
still Zerg, is what I'm saying. She
yeah.
is
Well,
Zerg.
you know, it's kind of. I just thought of another. Well, I guess not really analogy, but comparison. She starts out very much like Arthas-y, but she's kind of become more and more like Illidan as time has gone on.
She is like a
I can
weird
see
Illidan
that,
Arthas
yeah.
mixture.
Like,
She's trying
hey,
to be
I
good.
want to beat these bad guys, so I'm just gonna go all demon badass just to, fight the Burning Legion and get them to go away and leave the planet alone.
Right. And if you think about it, like I think in general storytelling, the most relatable villains are the ones that have qualities like that, where they, even if they are doing things wrong, sometimes it is for a kind of good gray area kind of reason, So they become more relatable that way. And for me, I love Kerrigan. Like, I really love the story. I love her background story. I love a lot of it. So, and I just don't want to ruin too much of the story. I think that people should definitely play through the StarCraft story
If you
mode.
can't play through it, just go and read the story of
Yeah,
it.
or look it up on
It's worth
YouTube.
it just to read it. Like,
Yeah.
watch YouTube, watch all the cut scenes, do something to kind of get the story, because I think she's great.
I agree.
It's fun. And if you do play in Heart of the Swarm, you actually get to play as her, as a hero unit, and that is awesome.
Yes.
Um,
But what is
and
she?
so-
What is she going to be like in Heroes of the
Right.
Storm?
That's what I was going to say. We can go ahead and kind of take a look at her
Just trying to
abilities
get
and
you a
really
sec.
how they match up to her abilities in the when you get to play as her in Heart of the Swarm. I keep wanting to say Heroes of the Storm.
I know. I keep saying Heart of the Storm, and it's Blizzard. Why are you doing this to us?
So,
With
Rem,
the game names.
So she is an assassin, which we've talked about. It's really the
Damage
heavy
dealer.
damage dealer. What's her first ability, Rem?
She has an ability called Psionic Shift. Freaking words. I'm going to redo that, and you're going to edit that out. She has an ability called Psionic Shift, and this is where Kerrigan is going to dash to the target enemy and deal probably a heavy amount of damage to them, so kind of like a lock-on feature, and pew-pew!
Pew pew.
She's also going to have Impale, and this is pretty interesting to me and what that's going to mean for the game. But so she spikes Impale enemies at a target location. Enemies are hit, are damaged, and stunned as well. That's going to be an interesting either initiation or, hey, you're running from me killing you with the bad stuff, but guess what? You're not going anywhere.
Right. And then she has an ability called Wing Sweep, and she gets to use her wings, I assume, and sweep at the enemies in front of her. Enemies that are hit with this are pulled into her, so it's kind of like an AoE and also a almost crowd control in a sense. So she's going to bring enemies into her. Using this is probably going to help you definitely down some enemy champions.
And then her two heroic abilities that, as of right now, we're seeing is her Summon Ultralisk, where she summons an Ultralisk, imagine that, and that she controls to attack her enemies. The other being like a Kinetic Blast, where she uses her psionic powers to damage enemies around her over time. One thing that I noticed is these didn't really have the names of them, so I filled those in based on the abilities that she's using in Heart of the Swarm. So in terms of game abilities between the two, I think they match up, pretty spot on. She summons Zerg to kind of work for her, and she uses a mixture of her psionic abilities, which are her natural talents, like we talked about, mixed in with abilities given to her when she became the Queen of Blades. The wings and that stuff.
Yep.
I think what's real interesting is a lot of it is crowd control and pulling enemies towards her, so it's going to be really hard to run away from her.
Yep.
Yeah, if she gets you,
You're going to die.
yeah, she gets you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm scared because this sounds like not only just like a pretty beastly mid lane assassin, but a really scary jungler.
Yes, I was thinking
Like,
the same thing. Except
Surprise! Oh,
There's
like even
kind
if she
of-
takes 10 seconds to kill you, which is a long time usually, you're not gonna get away. Like
Yeah.
and they'll probably have to make her abilities ish in terms of damage, just because you won't have a good chance to actually get away from her. So you've got to like at least
Yeah,
not
but see,
be.
I feel if they nerf or, like kind of, I guess, make the damage of her abilities a little more subtle, then she would come off, in my opinion, more as a support kind of character. You know what I mean? Like, there
I
are a
think
lot of
she'll end
support.
up being both.
You
I
think
think
so?
people will end up playing her
Yeah.
as support.
Yeah, I could see that. But I was just on what you were saying really quick, Xantar. Unfortunately, I don't know if you know, but there's not really much jungling to be done in Heroes. There's a couple articles all over the internet and deep dives into some of the maps and stuff, and there's not really much jungling. So sorry to break that to you.
You might still get floaters, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Oh,
we'll have to
yeah,
see.
for sure. There's definitely going to be some moving in between lanes for sure, but
roamers.
it's not exactly how it is in League of Legends, where like there's the things to do in the jungle, if you will.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what's going to be interesting once we start really seeing like cooldowns, I think that's what's going to help temper her from being overpowered.
Yeah.
Is how often she can do these things. I mean, just off the bat, I can imagine her, like you said, coming from another lane to gank, running up with someone not expecting, attacking them, the person getting away, her impaling them, then doing like the shift to dash to them to get just catch up to them again,
Yep.
and then to pull them back in. I mean, that's just a whole lot of like controlling your
Yeah.
enemy and your surroundings.
They'll
I
have
think
three
it's gonna be
knobs that
fun.
they can kind of adjust: is how long the stuns and CC last for, how much damage they do, and how long the cooldown is.
Yeah.
So I think they'll be able. I think she'll be ridiculously overpowered at launch. I am putting money on the table saying it, but I think they'll be able to fix her pretty fast too.
And one thing they didn't have listed was what she'll have for a passive ability. And just from looking at her abilities in Heart of the Swarm, I think it'll be something like an increased attack damage based on the number of attacks she has. That seemed to be something very, common.
Make her
in
kind of combo based.
Yeah. So she's going to rely on making sure she gets stuff done in the right order. And the only thing I don't feel like the two abilities that are her ultimates really play in with the other three abilities. Like, it almost like feels like they kind of sit on their own.
Yeah.
So
Just like an extra thing to do.
yeah, it's not like, oh, we're going to do this to kind of do this, and then this will work in with it. It's more like, hey, here, I have an Ultralisk running around. He's going to attack you while I bring you closer.
Yeah.
Well, and have you guys had a chance to? I don't know if I played it with you, but have you guys run into Annie ever in
Oh
League of
my
Legends?
god.
Yes, I played Annie. Remember?
So Annie does stuns and
Hate
summons a
Annie.
big badass dude to
Tibbers.
mess people
Yeah.
up. Tibbers.
Tibbers. Anybody want to play?
And that's instantly what I think of when I think of this. And one thing that always surprises people is how tanky Tibbers is.
Yes.
How much damage he can actually do to you when you're sitting there for 3, 5, 6, 7 seconds not doing anything, and he's just hitting you and hitting you and
Yeah.
hitting you.
Tibbers
So
is very annoying.
I'm going to go out on another limb. We got 2 Xantar bets in one show.
We're going to have to start writing these
Everyone's going to go Ultralisk.
We should write these down. We should write
Everyone's
these
gonna go
down,
Ultralisk.
make them publicly viewable somewhere so that
Yeah.
we can refer to them later.
Yeah,
We're gonna have a
I
new
think
segment.
everyone's going to go
The
Ultralisk.
things that
Yeah.
Xantar bets on.
yeah. Hashtag Xantar bets. Yeah, I think everyone's going to go Ultralisk because if I impale you and then summon my Ultralisk and dash in and start wing sweeping, all the meanwhile my Ultralisk is also hitting you and not getting killed really quickly because he's tanky.
Yep.
Could be problematic. Just saying. Not
Yeah, I
good for
can
life
see a lot of-
expectancy, I've heard.
I can see a lot of QQ.
The Black
here.
Plague was probably nicer to people's lifespans than the Ultralisk would be.
Yeah.
Uther won't be able to run away from this, I don't think.
That's right.
Yeah.
And last, let's take a look kind of at her skins. I know we had the Queen of Blades skin, which is her kind of default one, and we only saw one other one, which was the Succubus skin.
Yeah, so kind of like how you were mentioning the whole relativity to Illidan. You know, the succubuses are probably one of the most memorable things from the Black Temple. If you raided the Black Temple or even have done like, runs back there, even if you're past
Or
that
anything
level.
in WoW.
Yeah.
They're
So
everywhere.
There's like, they are everywhere. I just know that they're like a big thing in the Black Temple and a whole part of like Illidan's entourage, because Illidan has an entourage. Anyways, yeah.
I'll take Kerrigan's entourage over his though.
Oh yeah.
I mean, come on, the
Zerglings.
entire Zerg army.
Yeah, that's right.
I know.
You know what I want to see as far as skins go for her? I really want to see her, her like a Sarah Kerrigan skin, like Ghost Sarah or something like that.
How do we make it different than Nova?
Right. That's the thing. I feel like a skin that shows her original ability will be a skin for Nova, not a skin for the
Because they all just wear the same like white skin tight outfit.
Yeah,
Like
but
that's
then
the
they
Nova or the Ghost
but-
uniform.
But she has red hair and
Right, so
Nova's a
it's
blonde, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's a skin. So it's a ginger Nova.
No, but it should be you should be able to play as Kerrigan with all the same abilities, but a skin where she looks like how she used to look before she became the Queen of Blades. I'm putting my foot down on this one. It should not be a
How-
Nova skin.
How is she
No.
going
How do you
to do a
differentiate?
wing sweep without wings?
They like a
Psionic
hollow, yeah, or psionic, or kind of like they wouldn't be like her real wings, but it would be like a projection of what her, you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
ghost.
She shoots
kind of
out
type
masking
thing.
tape. And the masking tape traps
No,
you.
no, I mean like there's a way to do
Papier-mâché
this.
Wings.
There's a way to
Yeah.
do this. There needs to be a red-headed Kerrigan skin. Dang it!
It's just they've got to be able to make it look different enough from Nova. Like it can't just
I-
be the same body and a different head and hair.
I agree. So that's why I think there should be some kind of projection of like her wings, kind of
Yeah.
like a glimpse into the future, even though you're
I
playing
want
her.
to
as
see
a Kerrigan.
cyborg Kerrigan.
That
Mecha
would be pretty
Kerrigan.
cool. Yeah, Mecha
Cyborg
Kerrigan.
Kerrigan.
That could be pretty sweet.
Could be.
Before that.
Yeah. Anyways, thanks for shooting down my skin idea, guys.
Well, they're shooting down. Like I said, it depends on what they want to do with her. If they want to make it more like a true to her abilities as a ghost, there's really no way that it would fit with.
No, I think she should
Blades.
still have her. I mean, if you're gonna play roller derby Nova, she's still gonna have Nova abilities, but she's a roller derby chick. Come on, guys, it's a video game. We can have whatever we want.
We should have biker Kerrigan.
That would be
Kerrigan.
interesting. That
Well,
would-
I bet-
mean, with the mount system, they could have a bike mount, like a mechanic
Yeah,
dog.
I mean,
What
we
about-
know we're getting weird things. I mean, we're going to talk about it in a future episode.
Yeah,
but
lumberjack Uther. Come on.
Mercablo.
Yeah.
Mercablo.
What about
Crazy
an
things are
angelic
happening.
Kerrigan? Like, what if she was like a kind of like a angel, like Romanized style type, like angel? That'd be
Or
cool.
like Tyrael.
Yeah, well, no. Because then she'd just be a material version of Kerrigan. No, I just want to see like an angelic Kerrigan. That'd be cool. Why do you guys
That
keep
is the-
shooting down my
that is-
skin
I'm not
ideas?
shooting at it.
I
I
quit.
thought that's what you were talking about.
I quit.
We've heard the logic. A Tyrael themed Kerrigan is not okay, but a Nova themed Kerrigan is totally legit.
No, not a Nova themed Kerrigan, but like an old school Sarah Kerrigan.
How about
OG
a-
Sarah Kerrigan.
A Nova themed Kerrigan with Tyrael wings, and then that solves both problems.
But I don't want Tyrael wings. I want like feather wings. Come on,
And like
guys.
Illidan's horns.
No. I hate you
And
both.
also,
Oh, and it sounds
it's-
a Pit Lord instead of Ultra.
Right now. No.
and she has ash candy. She
I'm
also
outnumbered.
summons
That's what the
Tibbers.
problem is I'm outnumbered. We need more
With
girls
Tibbers.
on this show. Moving on.
She's like, Rem is ready to move on to our next segment, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and move on to our new hero segment.
Heroes here! Heroes here! No heroes needed here! No heroes wanted!
So this week we're going to finish up our in-game roles. I've added a couple like sub-roles into this week just so we had a little bit more to talk about. So Rem, why don't you start off with what exactly is support?
Oh, support is all the things. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so support characters are kind of, you can, I guess, go about them two ways. You can be like your typical kind of healer or bubbler or, you know, that type of support where you are always aiding your allies. And then there are other unique ways to play support that I think usually work out really well, where if you're typically playing support in the bottom lane with an AD carry, which is a damage dealer, and they would be doing all of the damage dealing for your lane, but you would be helping by CCing stuff and stunning stuff and all of those fun type of abilities, while also possibly healing or shielding your allied player in the bottom lane. So I think that those are kind of the two ways that you can play support. So being a typical healer or being a hybrid of a healer and a good CC'er and always helping control the enemies in your lane. Xantar, you play support, so was that good?
That was good.
All right.
It actually is also some other things that we're going to talk about in the next few as well, but it can become a whole bunch of different things.
Yeah, it can. I was, I guess, trying to be basic.
Yeah, no, that was good.
Okay.
And so jungler, as we mentioned, we're not going to have much of a jungle in the way as you do some of the popular Dotas right now, but what it'll likely end up translating into is roamers or floaters. But it'll probably, still kind of be called junglers in a sense. And these are guys that are going around lane to lane, being a bully, initiating ganks and, shifting lane balance, I suppose is a way to put it. And securing objectives, whether that be the Dragon Knight Temple on the map that has that, or maybe they notice somebody on the enemy team has a whole bunch of coins on the not the Booty Bay, but the pirate map. Yeah, the Pirates of the Caribbean map. Notices somebody has a lot of coins, goes in to kill them when everybody else is doing other stuff, and to kind of secure some stuff that way. But all in all, just kind of floating around and being really, I guess, fluid in terms of where they are and what they're doing. It's going to take a lot of understanding of the game and a lot of decision making, and like fast decision making. Because if somebody else goes to another lane and you're not there to defend it, you better be somewhere else doing the same, putting pressure somewhere else. Otherwise, that's a whole couple minutes that they just took an advantage on you and came ahead or caught up.
I mean, one thing that the kind of the jungling roaming is going to have, I think, in Heroes of the Storm that doesn't really have in the current MOBAs is actually two things. One is there are some maps where you can fight the neutral mobs and then they fight for you, so it kind of really helps to give your lane an advantage. But with the team leveling, roaming between lanes isn't going to put you far behind if you're not doing it 100% correct. Because I know that's something that I ran into when I first started jungling and learning how, is I'd be behind the rest of my team level-wise because I wasn't doing it right.
Right.
So,
well, and it takes such a deep understanding of what's going on to be able to make those decisions.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't do it and practice it, you'll never get to that point.
That's right.
So,
a lot of growing pains.
Yes. And so there's kind of three smaller abilities, or not abilities, in-game roles that I think really fit into like support, junglers. A lot of other groups can do them, but I kind of wanted to bring it up real quick because it's stuff that I kind of noticed playing Dota 2 this week, like the Disabler. Now, I don't know how much in League of Legends if there's too many people that can be true Disablers, but I know I've been playing, he's called the Centaur Warrunner. That's who I've been playing. And basically, come mid-game, you can actually take him and run straight at a cannon, and if you built him properly, he's able to disable that cannon without creeps really being around him. which is interesting. It's not, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. I don't see that in League of Legends too often. Someone who can do that. Another one is there's a sniper character who is like an AD carry that can outrange the turrets. So he's able to disable the turret from such a distance that he's really not affected. I think it's kind of interesting to see that. I think the one hero that they've hinted at in previous versions, either was Blizzard All-Stars or Blizzard Dota, was a siege cannon, and then when it goes into siege mode, it's able to disable the turrets from a distance. So I think we're definitely going to see that type of a hero in the Heart of the Storm. I definitely think that's a possibility.
That's right. And another role that you may see being mentioned is a pusher. When I first started playing League of Legends about a year-ish ago, I had no idea what a pusher was. And it's kind of one of those like vague terms, and not a lot of champions are ever really listed or mentioned as pushers. So it's, in my opinion, it's something you won't see a lot of champions get called, but it still does exist. Pushers are champions that can kind of clear enemy minions, so the creeps and the minions, or whatever you want to call them, they can clear them very, very quickly. The thing about pushers, or even pushing your lane, that I just want to add in here before we move on to the next role, is that sometimes you don't always want to push your lane too fast, and sometimes if you have teammates who are very familiar with the game, they'll tell you, hey, don't push yet, don't push yet. The problem with pushing your lane very quickly is that you open yourself up from the rear or from the side to be ganked a lot easier if you're further in the lane than you should be. Then you have no more towers, your own towers, to kind of protect you, and so usually if you push too fast, you're probably going to get ganked. So yeah.
I love all these subcategories. They make me happy. And then the last one is my personal favorite subcategory of all of them. And this is this type of support that I love playing. And these are the initiators, or what I like to call the playmakers. So these are types of champions that maybe don't have a lot of crowd control or stuns or locks. And maybe they don't really have a whole lot of healing or shields or anything, but they have a lot of really interesting mechanics. These can be things like moving champions, or bringing champions from one place or to another, or being able to move themselves or other people around things. And basically just in the course of a few seconds being able to set up really huge team combos into making a disastrous outcome for whoever you're laning against. An example I can use is Thresh in League of Legends, who I main. I can throw a chain out, and it goes, X distance. If I hit you with it, it hooks into you, and I can start yanking you backwards in whatever direction I choose for a couple seconds. And then I can dash into it, pull myself into you, and then I can use my E ability called Flay, which knocks you in whatever direction I want and slows you. So I've now yanked you closer to my AD carry, and then dash in, flay you back even closer. You're running really slowly away, and then I use my ultimate, which is a box, and it traps you inside it.
Nice.
So can make for some really, really kind of cool playmaking, and it goes one of two ways. It goes really, really horribly, and you fail badly and miss everything and look like a total noob, which happens to me. Or if you hit some crazy combos, which I have done and I like to think do fairly often, you look like a god, and some crazy cool things that are really impressive can be seen.
Almost kind of seems a little bit kind of like what you're going to be doing with Kerrigan, like we talked
Yes.
about. A lot of
Yeah,
little nifty,
absolutely.
little nifty abilities. Like I said last week, we're going to be giving out a beta to the DC Infinite Crisis. Very simple. You just have to answer the question. We actually ended up getting a couple extra betas that I can give away. So we're going to give away a couple in the chat room. And then if you email the show at heroesofthenexus.com, I'm going to randomly pick a couple people to give those away to as well. So the question is, the original Dota was a mod for which game?
I know the answer to that.
And the next thing is, I believe Rem is going to be playing a little bit. I'm going to be playing. David's going to get it. We're going to force Xantar to play, even if he's not interested. And we're gonna play, kind of with you guys and have fun. It is under NDA, so you can't really specifically talk about any of the stuff until you're in the beta. When you're in the beta, we can talk about strategies and how to play. So it'll be fun because we can actually kind of show you something, and you can kind of get a feeling of a beta if you haven't done it before. You can kind of see the rough feel. So it'll be fun.
I agree.
So
Plus,
with that,
it's DC. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you're gonna, this is an NDA stuff because right on their website, you can play as Batman, Flash, Wonder Woman. What's interesting is they don't have Superman in there yet.
Yet.
And I think it's something along the lines of how to balance him with making him feel super strong, but at the same time being balanced. I think that's a tough thing to do.
He's Superman. He has every power ever.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and he only gets to use 4 abilities.
Yeah, and then also like his, I guess, standard, abilities as a superhero, I think could be kind of hard to translate into a video game. In my opinion,
like taking the logo off your chest and throwing it in, wrapping it around people, like in the second movie.
I guess
that
so.
should be one.
I
of
meant
them.
more like how he can see through stuff and flying.
Time travel,
for example. Yeah,
You need to stop. You're talking about all the horrible stuff from Superman 3.
This is why I can't stand Superman as a superhero.
Yeah, I'm
so
not a
many
big
broken
Superman
things.
fan either. I'll be playing Batman when I get in the beta. So yeah.
The nice thing is if you look in the website, you have Batman, but you also have they have the alternate Earths, so you can play as different types of Batmans that all have different abilities, and then they all have different skins.
Nice.
Yeah, crazy psycho monster Batman.
Nice.
Which is pretty cool.
So, I think that'll do it for our show for tonight. Rem, why don't you let everybody know where they can catch you, where they can watch you, all the fun stuff.
Oh boy. Okay, you can follow me on Twitter at Remedeezy, REMEDEEZY. I love talking to people on Twitter, especially about esports, because I love esports like a lot. And you can catch me on the Blizzmaster show, which is the official podcast and vidcast for Blizzmaster.com. And I'm on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook and friend me there, but I prefer Twitter. Twitter is a fun place to chat with people, so follow me on Twitter. Yeah.
And Xantar, why don't you let everyone know what you are up to?
I'm still working on Holy Chat, so that should be back and up and running soon, so stay tuned. If you'd like to chat or get in touch with me, maybe play some League if you'd like, you can follow me on Twitter at @TheXantar, that's with an X, not a Z. And you can also find me at twitch.tv/TheXantar also for when I'm streaming a multitude of things.
Then for me, you can catch me at blizzmaster.com. I write articles for Diablo 3. I'm a little behind on some stuff just because of the retail season of crazy that I work in. You can follow me on Twitter at GeekOverRandom. You can follow the show at the Nexus Podcast. And like I've said a couple times, email us at show@heroesofthenexus.com with your questions and your chance to kind of get into a beta and play some games with us. The podcast itself can be found on Twitch, YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, and the Windows Marketplace. Speaking of iTunes, we did get our first 5-star review from Marshall907. I want to thank him or her. I think it's a him. Him for taking the time to rate us and tell us what he thought of the show. So if you get the time, go ahead, rate us, let us know what you think, and in the emails as well, you can send us any feedback, what you think might improve the show overall.
That's right. And don't forget to do the thumbs up, I think, on Stitcher. If you thumbs up shows, then it helps the show show up in like related searches and stuff like that. So give us some thumbs up on Stitcher too.
Yeah, and we really, like I said, we really want to know how we're doing. So if you let us know, then at least we can improve and get better.
I
as we
agree.
move on. And finally, make sure to come to heroesofThenexus.com, visit our forums. Where there's not too much in terms of discussion yet because we don't have the game, but we can get to know some of the community ahead of time. So when it does come, we are able to kind of know each other and kind of move on from there. Well, that is all. So we will close off the show, and we will talk to you guys next week.
Yay!
What goes around, 80 carries around.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. And stop.
I just realized that when I say bye, everybody, I sound like the dude. What cartoon is that from? Oh my gosh.
South Park?
Is it South Park?
Bye, everybody.
No, that's not what I think it's from Simpsons. I don't know. Anyways, Adam, I have really bad news for you.
What?
So my my Audacity was jacked up and didn't record the whole episode. But I can make it up to you because I can just jack the audio off the Twitch stream.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. I can have it like a maximum of 20 minutes after the show, and it'll be the entire audio from the stream. So
till tomorrow.
You can use that instead of the separate Audacity files if you want. I'm so sorry. I just looked at it when we went out to, press stop on it, and it's just a flat line of nothing.
Thanks, DJ.
Yeah, thank you, DJ.
Thank you.
I am so sorry.
I think I only had a couple parts where I was muted and had to type, or cat was meowing.
Okay.
So I think you'll have it relatively easy this time compared to the usual.
Mm-hmm. No, actually, this show is super easy. Like I actually get it done pretty quick.
Yeah.
It takes me like an hour to get
probably
it
one listen through. Hey.
What?
Probably just one listen through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of listen to it and that sounded loud. Turn down, then turn back up.
Yeah.
Well, see, I don't even. I put that through Auphonic to level everybody out at the end.
Oh, nice.
Yep. I basically cut out. I try to if like there's like if any of us really do like a really bad like I cut that out type of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that too. Yeah.
I want everyone to sound really good.
Straight to hard drive, baby. There's no censoring this asshole.
You know what, Xantar? You never said Yasuo.
Oh, I didn't. Shit.
You punk.
I was, and
I can say it next episode because I'll have been playing him then.
I was expecting you to use because on episode 3 when you were like, "May all your gang strike true." I'm like, is he gonna say good that way? Is he gonna say goodbye that way every time?
Oh, I think he's trying
maybe
to
I should turn that into a catchphrase.
Yeah,
I kind of like that.
I said that at the end of the last episode. I'm like, Zentar's not here, but as he would say, "May your gang strike true."
Oh, I like this idea.
I'm mad that you didn't say Yasuo, and I'm mad that you guys shut down all my skin ideas.
We weren't trying to shoot him down. We were trying to have conversations about him.
I know. I'm kidding. I'm not really mad. Come on now.
I know.
She's deeply offended. Look at that face.
So offended that she's not.
I've seen that face in person. That's the offended face.
I know, right? Yasuo! I just wanted to say it, Xantar. That's all I wanted.
Now you have to wait a week. The excitement's only going to build.
Yeah, I guess.
Do you guys want to start playing right away?
I need like 15 to go use the ladies' room. And I have been drinking so much Monster this whole show. So
don't leave just yet. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Let me do something real quick.
Okay, I'm going to stay in the call. I just literally have to run downstairs and literally across the street to the corner store to get my cat food.
Okay, you do that. Then.
So I'm going to be right back. It literally takes me 5-10 minutes. Not even I'll be back in 5 minutes.
If I'm talking, can you not hear me?
Bye, Xantar.
Are
you not able to hear me?
It's Twitch hoodie. What do you need me for, Adam? Do you know we're still live? We're still streaming. my derpiness. Derp.
Let-
Ah.
Say bye.